What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how my clients, John and Regan, went from $0 to $7,500 a month in their soccer training academy in the last 4 months. And this is actually them. They did their monthly audit here, and boom, they hit $7.5K in their 4th month, which is incredible. So we're going to go right into it, guys. So there's 3 steps on how they did this. Okay, so when they came to me, they were in a very similar situation to what most of you guys are in, right? You're doing the pay per session thing. You've only got maybe 5 to 10 athletes. And what we did to get them from 0 to $7.5K was a simple 3-step process, okay? So step 1 was structure. So biggest problem that they were having is that they were doing the paid per session thing, but they were also selling packages. Now they actually, funny enough, they found one of my earlier videos on talking about memberships. So they were headed in the right direction, but it still goes the same. They were just doing one-on-one training. They're doing mostly pay per session. They're starting to get into the membership thing. And what the difference for them was when they came in is very first thing we did was redesign their offer to offer upfront payments, okay? Not monthlies or a pay per session, upfront payments, getting players to commit to them 3, 6, 12 months at a time. Because what that does is that not only does it attract players that are committed, right, and they actually want to get better, but it also gets people in the door that are going to stay around, right? Because, let's say I bring somebody in for 3 months, I have 3 more months to find as many players as possible. So I start with one player, I get him for 3 months, I've locked him in for 3 months now. 3 months of income. Now I've got 3 months to find at least another player to replace that person. And then everybody else is just adding on. I'm just growing my business at that point. Where most of you guys go wrong is you don't make them commit. So people can leave whenever they want. And then maybe you get 20 clients one month, but then 20 leave the next month and you're like, why am I not growing? That's because you're not making them commit. So that was the first thing that we did. We redesigned the offer so we're making clients commit to them up front. Okay, then we raised their prices. Right? So they were charging like $30 a session or something. We doubled those prices because they're valuable. What you guys don't understand and what everybody does is like, you think that if you undercut people for some reason, you think you're going to grow your business. That is misled because you're going to need to sell more people to make the same amount of money. But 2, people value things off of price, right? When they see something, like when you go to the grocery store, right? Let's say we go to the grocery store and you're in the fruit section and you see a fruit that is 25 cents and a same fruit, but it's like $1.25. You're automatically going to think, oh, that's like organic. That must be like, it's really healthy. It's really valuable, right? Like just by looking at the price, you don't even need to look at what's inside or what even could be the same orange. But since you slapped a higher price tag on it, you're thinking, oh, it's more valuable. Right? That's the exact same thing on how people think in a higher level when they're looking for training, right? And especially since this is athletes that we're talking about, like they have an expiration date, so people are looking for valuable stuff, right? So they're going to go with the people who are more valuable. A funny story about me is when I started my private soccer training academy, everybody was undercutting each other. I was doing $40 a session, so I was charging like $160 a month. When I came in, I doubled my prices to $80. And then 90, and then I went up to 100. And then guess what everybody else did? They doubled their prices with me because people were coming to me and paying me and getting awesome results and actually committing to what I was doing and giving them. And they were getting amazing results. I was getting the athletes so much better that everybody wanted to be a part of it. And then my competition raised their prices. So with their offer, we structured out their offer to offer upfront and we raised their prices. Then what we did was we structured their group programs. So we moved away from just doing one-on-ones and started opening up group programs. So now we filter every player that comes in, we filter them through our offer into the group program so they can start scaling. That's the fastest way to scale, guys, is through groups. Okay, your one-on-ones, you're paying because it's time with you. With groups, it's unlimited time because then you could get a coach to do it and then you've got 18 players in a group and you're not doing anything. Like, that's the dream, right? So that's what we did. That was step 1. So we fixed their structure, we fixed their offer. 2 was sales, okay? Biggest problem that they were having is they weren't getting on calls and actually selling people into the program. Now, when I say sales, I don't mean that slimy crap that you see Andy Elliott or like the used car salesman people. That's not what I mean. Sales is service. You are helping people make a decision on how to make their lives better. Okay? You are not selling, you are serving people. Right? I'm not going here and selling them something for $2,000. I'm going them and serving the best possible program that's going to get their athletes results, and it happens to be a high valuable cost. That's $2,000. Right? It is your job as a coach to be able to sell, because if you can't sell and you can't communicate to your athlete and your client that, hey, what we're doing is awesome, it's really valuable, that's why it's this price. This will change your life if you decide to make this decision. If you can't sell and you can't get people over the fact that your stuff is expensive and you can't get them into your program, then that's your fault. And you're a bad, I'm not gonna say you're a bad person for it, but you need to look at it as that's a bad thing that you're doing, because it's your job to get that athlete in your program and change their life. If they don't join your program, then they're out there on the streets walking around getting no help. And then, like I said, athletes have expiration dates. So the longer they wait, the more time they waste, the more time they're not getting better and they're not getting closer to their goals. And that's your fault. So you have to be able to sell. Now, selling is just not just getting on calls, it's the entire lead process. So what we did with John and Regan was basically their process was they would get a lead to come in, send them a text, tell them exactly what their program was. They would send a payment link. Do you want to come out, maybe do a trial session? And I was like, no, we're going to scrap that. What we did instead is we did an actual professional leads to sale process. Lead pops in, we send them a text, we call them right away. From that call, we get them on to a call. Either I call them or text them. Regardless of what I'm doing here, my main initiative is to get them onto a sales call. That first initial call is just to book the call for the second time, but it's to get their attention, right? Where they were going wrong is they're just sending text messages, nobody's responding. Yeah, no duh, nobody's responding, because nobody wants to respond to text messages. People will respond to calls though. So we're calling, texting leads that are popping in. Then we're booking them to a call. From that call, we're running an actual sales call, figuring out what the problem the client has experienced, what their goals are, and what's holding them back, and how our program is going to solve their problems. Okay, from there, we close them, and they're in our program. All right, but that started with their entire lead to sale process, not just the sale call itself. Okay, so we fixed their structure and offer, then we fixed their entire sales process, and then once they have those two things in order, now we can start bringing in as many leads as possible, because we're converting almost all of them, right? Like, you guys want more leads. Everybody wants more leads. Like, when I'm running ads for this business and I'm targeting people who want more athletes, at the end of the day, guys, I can get you as many leads and as athletes as possible. But if you cannot sell them and then you don't have a properly structured offer in program, then it means nothing. Then you're just wasting money and wasting time talking to leads and doing all this if you don't have those other two things in place. So once we have those two things in place, that's when we went to step 3, which is running Facebook and Instagram ads. Okay, so what we did is I taught them how to plan, script. We have an editor on staff that edited their own videos, and then I taught them how to launch their ads to target parents specifically in their area. I think off the top, they're in like the Nashville, Tennessee area. So we set up a 10-mile radius around their location and targeted parents of kids ages, I think they're working with like 6 to 18-year-olds. They also did a homeschooling ad, which was super cool too, and aimed for specifically homeschoolers. But we targeted specifically who they were looking for, because you have that ability to do that through Facebook. It's horrifying and really scary how much data they have, but you can target specific people. So we set up a 10-mile radius around their training location, targeted specifically parents with kids ages 6 to 18, athletes ages 6 to 18, and then ran the ad. And then every single parent with an athlete 6 to 18-year-old was seeing their training, seeing their advertisement, seeing their call to action to come sign up with them, and jumping on calls with them, getting leads in the door, and then they're selling them into their program for high ticket. And that's how they went from 0 to 7.5K within 4 months. It's so simple, but you just have to put those things in place for that to happen, right? So just to recap, you need structure with a good offer. So structure and offer. Then you need a proper sales process, so a lead to sales system, and actually be taking calls, and then start running Facebook and Instagram ads, and they just took off. And now they're at 7,500. I'm actually going to drop the testimonial for that video next week, so you guys can also check that out. Possibly I'll leave it in the description below. But that's everything for today's video. If you guys are looking to scale your sports training company, just like how John and Regan did, from going from 0 to 7.5K a month or more, we're going to keep working with them. They just re-signed to our scale program. Now they're going to go to 15,000, 20,000 in the next 6 to 10 months. If you're looking to do the exact same thing, then I'm gonna leave a call. I'm gonna leave a book call link in the description below. Go book in a call with me. Get on a one-on-one call with me. Let's see what problems you're experiencing, how our program can solve it, and teach you how to scale your business to $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month. All right, guys, that's everything for today's video. Comment, subscribe, whatever. I don't care what buttons you hit. Thank you guys so much for the support. I love helping you guys. Go make some money. Peace.